In previous class, we have discussed about different applications of Gauss's law. Today we will discuss the remaining one, that is electric field due to a uniformly charged thin spherical cell. So at first try to understand the term spherical cell. Spherical cell is hollow inside. We can consider it as like the sphere. It means football. If the spherical cell and sphere are made up of metal or conductor, then all the charges will reside on the surface due to the repulsion between the charges. But take another example. Suppose we take non-conducting cell. There also repulsion between the charges happen. But as the cell is non-conducting here, so the charges are not able to move towards the surface. You can imagine like the seeds inside the watermelon. So all the charges here in this case will remain inside. So the charge distribution for the non-conducting case is volumetric or areal. So answer is volumetric. So even for a sphere, we will put a word conducting sphere. How do we take the charge distribution? Volumetric or areal? So as it based on surface, so we will take areal charge distribution. But if we say non-conducting sphere, then charge distribution is volumetric. Remember this point. And as we know, for surface charge distribution, we use the symbol of representation sigma. Sigma denotes charge per unit area. And for volumetric, we represent rho. Rho is what? Charge per unit volume. So our case is what? Spherical cell. Here the charges reside on the surface. So we will consider areal charge distribution. Now we will calculate the electric field due to a thin spherical cell. So let us consider a spherical cell having radius r. This is my cell. It's having, suppose, radius capital R. Okay. Then I will apply a charge Q such that all the charges will reside here on its surface. Right? On its surface. And as the charge Q, due to charge Q, this is distributed throughout. So it's having the charge density. So Q is my total charge. Sigma is equal to then surface charge density. Surface charge density. Now we have to calculate the electric field at a point, suppose here P, outside the spherical cell. So here at three possibilities may be there. One, point P may be at outside the surface. It may be on the surface. It may be inside the surface. So we will discuss one by one. So at first I am discussing about the electric field when the point P lies outside the spherical shell. So outside case. Outside the spherical shell. P outside the spherical shell. Right? So to determine the electric field at point P, let this point be at my distance r, small r, let it be at a distance r from the center O. Then to calculate electric field using the Gaussian law, we have to choose a Gaussian surface. So a Gaussian surface, how we will choose? Such that we get the symmetric and will satisfy the two property. One is what? Electric field to be constant throughout, and theta. Theta means angle between E and area vector. Electric field and area vector remains constant. Right? So we have to keep in mind these two things. So to keep these two, we have to choose Gaussian surface. So which type of surface we can choose here? If we will take cube, suppose, can our purpose be satisfied? No. So what we can do? We will choose a spherical shell of radius this r, outside it such that we choose it such that our point P lies on the surface, right? Now we will see the electric field direction. So the electric field direction here in this direction, right? And we know in a sphere the electric field directed radially outward. So it is like this somewhere. Here also it is like this. So these are the electric field direction we can take, right? So, and these electric fields, it goes radially outward as if it completes the charge. If we will produce it towards the backward side, then it looks like the charge Q is placed at the center. At every point of the surface, now we go to another component, that is our angle between E and area vector, we will see. So here all the area component also perpendicular to the surface. So area component here is delta S. So the angle between the electric field and area vector is equal to what? 0 degree. For here in this case also it is 0 degree. So throughout the surface we got the uniformity or symmetry, right? Now we apply. So you write down this point. So as E and delta S are constant, so we have to integrate only the surface integral. So our second step, that E dot del ds or delta S, that is our phi flux linked with the surface. We can simply write E ds cos theta. Yes. So cos theta, in place of theta we will substitute 0. So this is 1. So this is our integration becomes this. So here this ds is equal to Gaussian surface area. So what we can write in place of this? E into 4 pi r square, Gaussian surface radius, that is what? Our small r. So 4 pi r square. The next step, the charge. The charge inside the surface, that is Q. Also we can write sigma A, sigma into total surface area, right? that is sigma into 4 pi r square. That also we can write. Right? Now our last step, applying Gauss's law, we can write phi is equal to that E dot ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. So in place of this we can substitute the value. So this is becomes E into 4 pi r square is equal to q by epsilon naught, or E is equal to our q by epsilon naught 4 pi r square. So this is looking similar, like we already calculated this type of equation. You are remembering this one? This is for point charge. Yes or no? Right? Yes, one step for further simplification, we can write it as rearrange 4 pi epsilon naught r square. So we can write this is same as point charge, because in the point charge the symmetry is there throughout. Here also symmetry of radius is there throughout the cell. So we are getting the similar result. So what we can write here? So we conclude from the relation, outside a cell, the charges create same electric field as if they lies at the center of the cell, as if like point charge or at the center of the cell. In case 1 of spherical cell, we find out electric field when point P lies outside the spherical cell. Now in this case, we will calculate the electric field when point P lies on the spherical cell. So this is our spherical cell, right? Having radius capital R, having radius R, charge is distributed here on the surface, suppose, right? These are the charges. It may be positive, negative, whatever you will take. Now our case is P lies on the spherical cell. So we will take a Gaussian surface just enclosing the charged spherical cell very close. P on the means here. Here P is here only, right, on its surface. So P is here only. Suppose here is my P, right? So Gaussian surface for this case is this. So what you can observe, here also the charge Q is inside it. So the expression for this is also similar as like the previous one. So here in the previous case, our radius is this, smaller is this. So here smaller is this. Or what we can write? Small r is equal to capital R for this case, right? So the expression of E is similar because it's also enclosing the same charge Q. This Gaussian surface also enclosing. So what we can write the electric field expression? The same, that is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square, or in place of R we can substitute Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. So what you are observing from this, when we are decreasing the value of R from here to here, then to here, then to here, up to this, as R is decreasing, electric field strength goes on increasing, and when it will reach up to the surface of the cell, it is maximum. So we can write here E is going to increase, E is maximum at the surface, right? Next we will see case 3, that is inside the spherical cell. Electric field, we will calculate the electric field when point P lies inside the spherical cell. Inside the spherical cell. So, this is our spherical cell. Charge is distributed here on its surface, right? This is its center, distance r. P is inside it, somewhere, suppose here. Now we will choose the Gaussian surface for this type of contribution. So it is, so Gaussian surface is like this. We will choose Gaussian surface as if the point P lies on its surface. So these charges, what you are observing, all these charges are outside it. So the net charge inside the Gaussian surface is equal to how much? 0. So what we can write? A Gaussian surface drawn. A Gaussian surface is drawn here. So PB, a concentric sphere, charge Q within the Gaussian surface, that is Q, is equal to 0 because it is outside it. Therefore, the flux linked with the surface is equal to what? We can write is equal to E integration ds, simply because it is uniform. Here also theta and E remain same throughout the surface. So this is E into 4 pi r square, right? Now applying Gauss law, we can write integration E dot ds is equal to phi E is equal to q by epsilon naught, or that is equal to E into 4 pi r square is equal to 0 because charge is equal to 0. So this is 0, or E is equal to 0. So this is very important point. So what we will got, hence electric field due to a uniform charge spherical cell is 0 at all point inside the cell. So note down this one. Hence electric field due to a uniformly charged spherical cell is 0 at all points inside the spherical cell. Okay, so it is very important for the exam point of view. We studied three cases for electric field calculation due to uniformly charged thin spherical cell. One is outside the cell and electric field on the cell, then electric field inside. So now we will represent the variation of these electric field for different cases with respect to R or our distance variation. So for that we plot a graph showing the variation of electric field with distance. So let's take the distance R. R is varying along the x-axis and electric field along the y-axis. So we calculated electric field is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square for outside. E is equal to 0 for inside and E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square on the surface. Right? Let's plot these three things here. So if this is my center, suppose, and I am taking here distance R. So up to R, this is means up to the spherical cell surface. This is my inside surface, inside region. This is center O, this is inside region, this is outside region. Right? So electric field inside at center it is 0. Then 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter up to the surface it is 0. Then at the surface or on the surface it increases maximum value. Right? It goes to maximum. So that is maximum on the surface. Let's represent it with this. When it is maximum? When point P lies on the surface of the spherical cell. Right? On the surface it is R. When R is equal to R. So we can plot this like this. Right? Now, so this point is our E when it is maximum, that is on the surface. This is Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square. Then after that, beyond R, up to this means outside point, as the distance goes on increasing from here to here to here to here, as the distance increases, the value of E decreases because it follows inverse square law. So the nature of the graph is inverse graph. It is maximum, then gradually it decreases up to infinity. So this part is our decreasing, showing the decreasing nature. So this is E proportional to what we can write, Q by R square. So this is the variation. This graph shows our in total variation of E with R for a spherical cell. Which type? Conducting.